France is burning and the Macron government is on the brink. Riots have engulfed the capital city in what's turning out to be France's own version of the George Floyd riots. We're going to see the latest on the violent outburst that has engulfed Paris, and we're going to see how the nationalist right leader Marine Le Pen is surging towards a landslide victory. On June 27th, a 17-year-old Muslim identified as Nahel was shot and killed by a police officer during a traffic stop in the Paris suburb of Nanterre. According to the BBC, Nahel was known by police, and Europe 1 reports that he had numerous run-ins with the law, including 5 previous incidents of refusing to comply with police officers. According to police, Nahel was pulled over for a traffic violation and in the process refused to comply with police officers' instructions. And then he attempted to drive away with the police officers partially inside the car, and that's when he was shot. Upon news of the incident, riots erupted almost immediately, and here you can actually hear rioters screaming out the Islamic chant, Allahu Akbar. Fireworks are being used as weapons, which is partly responsible for the mass fire damage throughout the city, which has also been ravaged by night after night of mass looting. Hey gang, when was the last time you thought about where the money you paid your phone bill actually goes? Did you know that in 2021, multiple major phone carriers donated over $10 million to far-left pro-LGBT causes? Most major carriers have almost perfect scores from the far-left Human Rights Commission, which measures these companies' commitment to promoting LGBT activism. Well, my fellow patriot, there's no need to despair. Patriot Mobile is a nationwide mobile phone service made by and for conservative Christian patriots. With 4G and 5G coverage in the majority of the United States, there's no reason to keep giving woke mobile your hard-earned dollars. Since 2013, Patriot Mobile has been the only Christian conservative wireless provider in the U.S., bringing fast, nationwide coverage to conservatives, all the while supporting conservative causes. They're pro-life, they're pro-Second Amendment, they're pro-free speech, and they make sure to take care of our veterans and police. They host events, give generously, and have been supporting conservative causes now for over a decade. Click on that link below and make the switch today with Patriot Mobile. In fact, if you click on that link below right now, you'll get free activation with my promo code Turley Talks. So don't wait. Click on that link or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. And let's together boycott woke corporate America today. Macron held an emergency meeting with ministers, calling the police shooting, in his words, quote, inexplicable and inexcusable, and vowed swift action in response. But as we all know, if Macron thinks groveling before neo-Marxist grievance activists is going to be enough to quell this, he's in for a very, very rude awakening. And he has only himself to blame. It's all rather ironic. At one level, Macron's been doing everything he can to make sure that the race riots that blew up in the summer of 2020 here in the United States didn't make their way over to France. In fact, the Macron administration largely blamed the cultural Marxism that's infested American universities as the reason behind why America's literally splitting apart right before our very eyes. And he made it clear that the French government needs to do everything it possibly can to make sure that this out-of-control woke leftism stays out of France, or they're going to start socially unraveling as well. So Macron is well aware of the ideological poison that can tear a nation apart, and yet he is at the same time trying to impose globalism and globalist norms on France. So we're talking open borders, mass immigration, radically decentralized economy, gentrification of cities, the normalization of cosmopolitan lifestyle values, all that. He's been actively trying to impose globalist norms on his own population, seemingly not aware that globalism carries with it the very cultural Marxist ideology he claims he's trying to protect his nation from. Cultural Marxism, the notion of victimology and the importance of emancipating, particularly minority populations from past injustices, that's the ideology that justifies globalism. Globalism is supposed to be the answer, the solution that liberates minority populations from unjust social structures. So you can't have it both ways. You can't inoculate your population from an ideology that's an intrinsic part of the very globalist system you're trying to impose. And Macron is finding that out the hard way. His government is basically in tatters at this point. His approval rating is cratered to barely 23%. 8 in 10 French want him gone, which means, of course, that the nationalist populist Marine Le Pen is poised to win what pundits are calling an electoral tsunami. It's pretty astonishing stuff. If Macron decides to resign before his tenure's up, or if there's a no confidence vote, the last one just barely missed passing successfully, we may indeed be seeing a Le Pen presidency in the not too distant future. So obviously we'll be keeping an eye on how things develop in France, but there's simply no question here. Macron's administration will go down in history as a massive contradiction. He thought he could keep the societal rot of cultural Marxism out of France, while at the same time imposing globalist norms on France. Unfortunately, Macron is finding out the hard way that contradictions always, in the end, blow up. Hey gang, I know what it's like to feel alone out there in these turbulent times, but I broke free. If you too have been looking for a community with like-minded patriots who are serious about resisting globalism, building a parallel economy, and having intelligent and deep fellowship on a regular basis, then you've come to the right place. In my Courageous Patriot Insiders community, we're building a close-knit movement of, by, and for patriots who are breaking free from the outrage and despair cycles of the mainstream media and taking on the fight against globalism. Every week, I deep dive into the content I can't share on big tech and give you the cliff notes on the truth of how patriots just like you are building up their communities, starting patriot businesses, and fighting the woke in both public and private. All with a few history and political lessons from yours truly, of course. If you want to stop feeling alone as a patriot and stand together with this fast-growing community, be sure to click on the link in the description below. Don't wait. Join me and my Patriot Coalition today, and let's get fighting.